Hello everyone, in this video I wanted to share how to do short rows. There are a few different methods you can use to do short rows in crochet projects, and the reason you would use short rows is for something like this dragon I made. It's a Crafty Intentions pattern. It's a really great pattern, but she uses short rows so that this side can expand a lot faster and then have this nice curve to the body. Because that's not sewing or anything, that's just the actual shaping of the crochet. The most typical method I've seen for working short rows is to work them just like you would a flat blanket or something. So for this example, say I'm making something that needs to expand on this side faster so it curves around, and I'm going to crochet 6 stitches and then chain 1 and turn and crochet back to make that short row. I've done 6, now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work and then just work back to the stitch marker. And then I'm going to chain 1 again, and at this point I would just work back to the end of this row. The problem with that though is that this section looks inside out, and if you look at the inside, you have this pattern, but then if you look at the outside, the stitches look a little different, and then you have this one weird row. I'm going to pull out this section and show you the way I usually avoid that. So we're back to the part where we've done 6 stitches across, and then we're supposed to turn around and go back to the stitch marker. Now, it's a little challenging and it's slower for me, but I figured out that if you just chain that last stitch and then switch hands, then you can work into the front of each stitch instead of moving back along the other side. So you're just crocheting opposite. I've heard some people call this mirror crochet. I don't know if it has any specific thing or if it's just like crocheting with your left hand. I am not left-handed, but once I played around with this a little bit, I was able to do it, and while it's much slower and I have a tendency to drop stitches, it does make my short rows look like they're all on the same side. You can still kind of tell because the stitches will be angled back this direction instead of the direction of the rest of them, but at least it doesn't look inside out, which I definitely prefer. So once you reach the end of the row, you just chain 1, switch hands, and if you're left-handed, you would have started in your left hand, switched to your right hand, and then gone back to your left hand. And then you just work back across this row. And that creates a really flat look. Like I said, you can kind of see that this is facing the other way and then it zigzags back, but it's a lot more cohesive than going and turning it inside out. Now, there's one more way that I've heard of people doing, and this is what I think they mean when they say mirror crochet. It's not switching hands, it's actually just keeping it in your dominant hand. So for me, that's going to be my right hand. I'm going to, instead of turning my work and inserting into the back of that stitch I just made, I'm going to keep it on this side and insert it into the front. And this is the most challenging for me because I can never remember if I'm yarning over or under. But for me, I always put my yarn this way, and then you pull it over and pull it through. Like I said, this is the most challenging one for me, but if you aren't comfortable switching hands, this might be a better method for you. So you can do that with each stitch. So insert your hook, put the yarn over, pull over once, put the yarn over, pull through twice, and you're going to work that for the other 4 stitches up here. Now we have this row, which looks an awful lot like the one with my left hand did. It's a little tighter because I'm not as great at working backwards with my right hand. But then you would just chain 1, and then you can go back across working as you normally would. And there you go. Another really smooth way of doing short rows. So I hope this tutorial helps. Just in recap, there's the first one where you go across, turn your work, and then you go back across and then turn your work again. The second one where you go across, switch hands, go across, switch hands, and then continue. And then the third one, which is this one, where you go across and then still with your right hand crochet into the front of each stitch and then go back like you normally would. So I hope this helps. I hope you're able to work short rows a little bit more smoothly into your patterns. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Thanks, bye.